warm welcome to Disky Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, we discuss all things Soweto Derby, as I will have a tactical pre-match analysis of Orlando Pirates versus Kaizer Chiefs. However, before we head into today's special tactical pre-match analysis episode, I'd like to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle, the Performance Package. Just over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. That's 20% off free worldwide shipping with the code DiskyTalk at Manscaped. If my math is correct, that is about 8 million balls, clean-shaved balls. So let's head into today's episode, which is the tactical pre-match analysis of the Soweto Derby. So when we have a look at it then, the blue team will represent Orlando Pirates, and then the red team will represent Kaizer Chiefs. So coming up into this encounter then, the last time out, Orlando Pirates did very well in the CAF Confederations, where they won 6-2, and Kaizer Chiefs then managed to win at the death against Baroka within the Dstv Premiership. So when we have a look then at Orlando Pirates, in goals, we'll have Ponchane to start in goals. And with Orlando Pirates, they have been playing a hybrid system, which is a 3-4-2-1, and would transition then to a 4-4-2/4-5-1 without the ball. So when you have a look at it then, as the back three, as the left-sided centre back, you will have Paseka Mako, and then as the centre back, you will have Happy Jele, and then as the right-sided centre-back, you will have Olisa Nda. So when you have a look at this back three then, this is a back three then that tick numerous boxes from a qualitative perspective, especially in possession of the ball, whenever then they are looking to build up, as all three players are very comfortable on the ball, and are players then who can find that pass into the heart of midfield whenever they are looking for the more advanced players, and players then who are able to progress the ball very well. However, when you have a look at Jele and you have a look at Olisa Nda, these are two very strong centre-backs who are developing a very good understanding, and they've been very, very solid. And when you have a look at Olisa Nda then, this is a player that keeps growing in stature. He's also press resistant, and he's very, very comfortable on the ball. Moving on then right along, as the left wing back, you will have Dion Hoto, who starts then in vertical zone 1. So with Dion Hoto then, he does look to offer the width for this Orlando Pirates side. And what I like then about Dion Hoto is how he reads the game, because Dion Hoto then, whenever play allows him to, he will often tend to drift into the half space, and at times also drift into the box, where we have seen him score quite a few goals this season, and he's been able to provide assists as well. So Dion Hoto, we do know that he's a very quick player, and a player then with an eye for goal and with great technical ability as well. So he does start then in vertical zone 1, where he does look to give the width for this Orlando Pirates side. And then when we have a look then at the right wing back, as the right wing back then, we do have Ubandile Shandu, who then at times, whenever it does transition to a back four, he would obviously look to drop and tuck in and go as the right back. However, when Pirates are in possession of play and they're looking to progress the ball into the opposition half, that's when Bandile Shandu will be looking then to give you that width within vertical zone 5. And when you have a look at Bandile Shandu, this is a player who's doing very, very well, and a player then who scored quite a lot of goals in recent weeks and has been very, very impressive for this Orlando Pirates side. He will look to offer them width, and at times he will also then look to drift in, as we do know that he is now starting to register his name on the score sheet quite consistently. And then when we have a look then at the heart of midfield, so the last time out then, they did start with Umusele and Munare as well as a double pivot in there. So with Munare then, he is the solid of the two who will look to sit a lot deeper. A player then who's very good at breaking down play. He keeps it simple. And a player then who also has a very good range of passing because he can play those diagonal balls into the wide zones whenever he has to. And a player then who is also very, very experienced. And then alongside him, you will have Ukudmen Musele. So with Ukudmen Musele, he's the one that tends to advance further up the pitch a lot more, as Munare would sit a lot deeper. With Umusele, we do know that then he does have those late runs into the box where he looks to make those box entries. However, when you have a look then at this midfield too, at times they have struggled with regards to progressing the ball and looking for those penetrative passes within the heart of midfield. So within vertical zone 3, within vertical zone 2, within that half space, on the right side of half space, at times they do struggle to progress the ball and find their players within those tight pockets of space, especially when they're looking for Ntembi Nkosi-Lorch or looking for Dlamini. Whenever they're looking for their 10s then within the half space, at times they do tend to struggle with that, and that's why then you would see Lorch having to drop a bit deeper. However, there are other midfielders then who are quite good at that within Orlando Pirates, notably then Nkayiso Zungu. However, in this game, I do foresee them starting with Umusele and Munare as well. And then as the 210s the last time out, they did start then with Ukabelo Dlamini, and they started with Ntembi Nkosi-Lorch. So when you have a look then at Ntembi Nkosi-Lorch, this is such a key player for Orlando Pirates then, because this is a player then who often drifts and roams around the pitch and would have a free role for this Orlando Pirates side. And we do know that on his day, he possesses so much quality to hurt the opposition. He is a player then that can get the assist, can score goals, can penetrate into the final third, and also then be able to get into the box and come up with those goals. A player as well then who can also then take shots at range, and especially then when it comes to the derby, we do know that he loves a goal within the Soweto derby. When you have a look at Kabelo Dlamini then, I've been quite impressed with his performances in recent times, especially considering then that this is a number 10 who I think fits the mold of what Orlando Pirates are trying to do and offers a lot more than the other options. So very happy to see him starting, and very happy to see him then being able to contribute with the goal the last time out. And then up front, they've got Pepra. So when you have a look at it then, Pepra did score the last time out. Pepra then is a hard-working forward line player, but he's not then the most clinical forward line player, but he will work hard for you, you know, and it makes it very interesting, especially coming up into this Soweto derby, because I'd like to think that the chances that Orlando Pirates will have, I don't think they'll have a lot of chances. So you do want then a player who's very clinical up front. Makes it very interesting that they do have Gabadinho Mango, who hasn't really featured, and a player who I think should be given a chance, especially considering then the personnel that Orlando Pirates do have. Because when you have a look at Hoto, you have a look at Shandu, you have a look at Dlamini and Lorch, you know, you're looking at 4 players then who can create opportunities for their striker. And if they have a Gabadinho Mango up front, I think then he could finish off a lot more of those chances. And in such games, then these games do tend to be tight. So you do need then a number 9 who's able to create chances out of nothing, a number 9 who can also take then those half chances. However, that is what Orlando Pirates will look like. And a key component then to mention with this Orlando Pirates side, especially then within the heart of midfield, at times they do look to have numerical superiority with regards to the box midfield that they would create, where then they'll have 4. And this is then how they look to control the midfield and how they look to control the possession as well. And then with Ntembi Nkosi-Lorch and Dlamini trying then to ensure that they're able to receive in between the lines within those tight pockets of space and within the half space, they do then offer you that positional superiority as well. However, I do foresee then Ntembi Nkosi-Lorch being a key player, especially considering that this is the Soweto derby and he loves a goal within the Soweto derby. And yes, of course, off the bench, you do have players like Lipasa, you do have Amabasa, you do have Fortune Makaringe, and you do have Atsukamanja, you also have Makubela. So they're quite a plethora of options off the bench that can always come in and impact this game positively. So going to be very interesting to see then how Orlando Pirates go about things, as we do know that the last time out they did lose 2-1 against Kaizer Chiefs, where they kept ball possession and they just struggled with final third penetration. So this time around they will be looking to penetrate into the final third, and I think this is the type of game then when you need that Gabadinho Mhango, because he does give you that presence within the final third and within the box as well. However, let's move on right along then, and let's just have a look at Kaizer Chiefs with regards to how they'll be looking to impose themselves. So with Kaizer Chiefs then, we do know that they won the last time out against Baroka. They won it at the death, 1-0. So with Kaizer Chiefs then, as of late, they have been lining up in a 3-4-3 formation, and whenever then they are out of possession and they're looking to defend, at times it does look somewhat of a 5-4-1 shape, where then you'll have the two wing backs looking to tuck in, and it will look somewhat of that whenever then they're out of possession and they're defending within their own half. However, it is then most likely then a standard formation of a 3-4-3. So when we have a look at it then, within goals, they do start with Brandon Peterson. This is a player then who I think has been doing well within goals for Kaizer Chiefs, as he has been able then to keep a couple of clean sheets for this Kaizer Chiefs side, and he's made very impressive saves, and he's kept Kaizer Chiefs within games. So I do foresee him then starting within goals and retaining the gloves. When we have a look then at the back three, which is starting to look like the back three that will finish out the season. As a right-sided centre-back, you do have Eric Matoa. As the centre-back, you've got Daniel Cardoso. And then as the left-sided centre-back, you do have Thabani Dube. So when you have a look at this back three, then the weakness is with Matoa and Cardoso, as they do often at times get beaten with a ball that is played in between them. Sometimes it's a ball over the top. Sometimes it's a vertical ball, and they do tend to struggle with that. However, within this back three, the strongest player then is Thabani Dube. And just then to look at Thabani Dube and highlight then what he offers you. So Thabani Dube then out of possession with regards to his defensive acumen. This is a player then who reads the game very well. Secondly, he's well and able with regards to positioning himself and orientating his body adequately to deal then with crosses and to deal with long balls as well. So this is a player then who is able to defend his box very well. And in possession of the ball, what he does offer you then, he offers you then that option deep then within vertical zone 1, and sometimes within vertical zone 2, deep within that half space. And what I like then about Thabani Dube is that A, he's press resistant. B, he's always going to look to play his teammates into feet. He's not a player then that's just going to clear the ball for the sake of clearing it, but he's got very creative and very penetrative passes, and he is then a defender that is able to break the lines, and he does play those window passes with great accuracy. So moving on then right along, when we do have a look at the wing back. So the last time out as a right wing back, they did start with Njabulo Blom. So with Njabulo Blom, we do know that this has been a very consistent player for Kaizer Chiefs. And I think this season, one could make the argument that he has been Kaizer Chiefs' best player and most consistent player. So Njabulo Blom then will be looking to offer the width for this Kaizer Chiefs side. However, the most important thing then to note with Njabulo Blom is that whenever he does offer the width within vertical zone 5, it is key then that he's able to whip those balls in adequately. And I do remember that the last time out against Baroka, there's this beautiful ball he angled into the back post for Reef Rosler, and Reef Rosler tried then to take a shot, but it wasn't successful as the shot was blocked. So if he can then start to play more balls synonymous to that, I think then he then becomes a complete fullback, well, a wing back within the system. However, it's going to be interesting then to see if Stuart Baxter does use him as the wing back. But Njabulo Blom then to start within vertical zone 5 as the right wing back. And then as the left wing back, the last time out, they did start with Reef Rosler. So what makes it very interesting then is that with Reef Rosler, this is a player then who is, yes, he can use both feet, so he is ambidextrous, but naturally so, he does tend to cut in onto his right foot and tends to drift in a bit. So he doesn't always offer you the width that a natural left-footed player would within vertical zone 1, where then they're looking to give you that progressive width, and they're looking then to have that progressive first touch where they're able to push the ball into space. And when you have a look then at how this Kaizer Chiefs side look to impose themselves with regards to the wing backs, what they're trying to do then, especially then what we saw against Baroka, is that the shape that they would end up having is a 3-2-5. Most importantly then in opposition half is having the wing backs high and wide. So with Reef Rossler then, he does tend to drift in a bit more and doesn't always give you that natural width. So what could be interesting then is that you could have Reef Rossler start as the right wing back and have Mabiliso start as the left wing back, especially considering then the fact that Mabiliso, the last time out against Orlando Pirates, he had a very, very good performance. And then within the heart of midfield, start Bacchus and Blom. And then you have Mabiliso as the natural left wing back, and then you've got Frosler on his natural side as well. That could be something that could happen. However, Frosler will most likely start then as the left wing back. And then within the heart of midfield, the last time out, they started with Bacchus, and then they also started with Nange. So when you have a look at this double pivot, so I was most impressed with Bacchus, as I felt that he was able then to give Kaizer Chiefs that quality with regards then to retaining ball possession and with regards to progressing the ball and at times being able to slow down the game and being able to rotate the ball as well. He really did offer that control within the heart of midfield for this Kaizer Chiefs side, and that's why then whenever Bacchus has played within the heart of midfield for Kaizer Chiefs, they've looked better in possession of the ball and they've had better control of the ball, especially then within consolidation phase, and it also help out in build-up phase as well. With Nange then, we do know that he does love to go box to box, but I do think that he's been off par as of late, and that is why then I could foresee maybe then Njabulo Blom and Bacchus starting as a double pivot, and then you'd have Mabiliso on the left-hand side. However, you'll most likely then have Patu Chedza Nange there. And then the last time out, as the front three, you had Keegan Dolly, you had Biliat, and then you had Samir Nukovic. So with regards to that then, we do know that Samir Nukovic is suspended for the upcoming game, so he won't feature as part of this game. So that does make it then very interesting with regards to who Stuart Baxter might go with. So he does have a lot of options. He can go with Castro if he wants a natural number 9. He can go then with a Sikhota if he wants a player then who will start on the left of the front three. He can always go with Nkosimpile Ngobo as well. And there's also Dumisani Zuma. And when you have a look at the type of game that it is, because I think that Orlando Pirates will have the lion's share of possession, I do think that maybe then going with a fluid front three that is able then to hit this Orlando Pirates on the counter attack and also then be able to have those fast break offensive transitions, then I think that it would bode well for them, as opposed to having then a Castro who's a target man. So in this case, I'll then be looking then to either start a Sikhota or start then a Zuma or start then Nkosimpile Ngobo. But most preferably, I'll be looking to start Sikhota there, because then you'd have 3 players up front who are very quick, who can look to press this Orlando Pirates side and look then to hit them on the offensive transition, which then could bode very, very well for this Kaizer Chiefs side. And then when you have a look at it then, and you have a look at Keegan Dolly, and why then he's so important for this Kaizer Chiefs side is that he does tend to drift into that pocket of space. And what I like then about this 3-4-3 system, and with it becoming very aggressive within the opposition half, is that it does take up a 3-2-5 shape. And with this shape and the wing backs getting high and wide as possible, it then allows Keegan Dolly to spend more time within the half space. At times, you will see him going wide, and then Blom can look then to invert and occupy a deeper position within the half space as well. So the relationship then between Blom and Keegan, or between Keegan Dolly and Blom, gets very interesting with regards to their positional rotations and how then they'll be looking then to sometimes occupy vertical zone 5 and vertical zone 4 with regards then to how they interchange the half space and the right wide channel. But This then allows then a Keegan Dolly to come in, and Blom will stay high and wide. Keegan Dolly is then able to operate a lot more centrally, and he can look to drift in and start taking shots as goal. As we have seen that in recent matches, he has been starting to get those shots on target, and that could be a key component coming up against this Orlando Pirates side, especially considering then that Mpontshane has conceded quite a couple of goals in recent matches. And then when you have a look then at Kama Billiat, this is a very important player for Kaizer Chiefs then with regards to his goals and his assists as well. And it's going to be very interesting. So when we have a look then at the third player within the front three, if it is Nkosi Ngobo, he does offer you something different with regards then to how he would be looking to operate in between the lines and sometimes come centrally to then look to institute then that numerical superiority and also then look to disrupt that box midfield that Orlando Pirates would have. If it is a Sikhota, then this is a player then who will look to be a lot wider, and then they could look to have then the wide overload with a Frosler as well, and a player then who can always drift in at times. But I did mention that if you do start with a fluid, fast front three in a Dolly, Billiat, and Sikhota, it could bode very, very well for Kaizer Chiefs because I do see Orlando Pirates keeping the lion's share of possession. However, the key player then coming up into this encounter for Kaizer Chiefs, we are looking at Keegan Dolly. As we do know that the last time out, Keegan Dolly did score a brace against Orlando Pirates in his very first Soweto derby. So when we then head off into the last segment, which is the extra time segment where I will give my prediction. But before we head into that, I'd like to tell you that you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code DSKYTALK at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code DSKYTALK. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. So moving then to the last segment of today's episode. So how I view this game playing out. So I do foresee Orlando Pirates keeping the lion's share of possession with regards to how then they'll be looking to progress the ball. And I do see them then having control of consolidation phase with regards to them keeping the ball. But I do think that they will tend to struggle at times with regards to their final third penetration, as this Kaizer Chiefs side will look to sit very compact and very disciplined. And what I do foresee then is Kaizer Chiefs then ensuring that they're able to control the spaces within their low to mid block with regards then to the lateral and the vertical spaces in between the lines. It's going to be very important that they're able to do that and then deny the half spaces so that Thembinkosi Lorch and Kabelo Dlamini can't really get into the game. However, when we have a look then at the score prediction, I do see this one playing out to a draw, and I do see this one playing out to a 1-1 draw. So, ladies and gentlemen, do let me know, what do you make of the Soweto derby, and who do you think walks away with this one? Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode that was brought to you by Manscaped. Signing out.